Hi, today we're going to talk a little bit about the Exciting Experiments Activity Badge for the Squirrels section. I'm going to start by running through the different requirements that exist for this badge, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on how these can relate to the different other activity badges and awards that exist within the Squirrels section as well, up to and including the Chief Scout's Acorn Award. Starting straight away then, we have find out about the world around us using our senses, try some activities to explore all different senses, what you can see, hear, taste, smell, and feel. You can draw some pictures or take some photos or keep notes about what you found out. Moving on, we have scientists think about how things might work and do experiments to find out if they're right. Try some experiments. What do you think might happen? It says here, grow a plant, spot some wildlife, look for some stars, etc. And finally, being a scientist is all about sharing what you've learned, tell a friend about your experiments and what you found out. As you might imagine, there's a lot of ways to link these in with other badges within Squirrels. Some of the most obvious ones I can think of is to do with um, if you look at building a boat, for example, there may be ways to link this in with the Brilliant Builder badge. But the more obvious ones to me are things like Explore the Outdoors activity badge. If you run part of this, especially the first section, outdoors, which is obviously a very good way of doing this. A big part of scouting is about getting out of the huts and getting into the outdoors. By taking the squirrels outside and letting them walk around perhaps a park or something, or even just a little area outside somewhere. By doing that, you can quite easily link parts of the Explore Outdoor activity badge together. This actually also counts for, I believe, two different parts of that Explore Outdoors activity badge. The bottom bit where you talk to a friend, if you talk to them about what you found out about going outside with your senses, that would also count for a different part of that particular badge. If we also look at the Get Creative activity badge, if we saw here sort of building a rocket or um, something that's close to that in terms of building a model here would actually count towards that Get Creative activity badge too. Even just as it says here, keeping some notes. Um, if you think about ways you can perhaps enhance your senses with, telescopes or binoculars or whatever, that might be one way of getting a different part of that Get Creative activity badge too. If you incorporate perhaps, as I mentioned, an outdoor area and the squirrels notice some various different insects and things like that, or animals and plants of different kinds, that would also count towards parts of the Go Wild activity badge. Moving on, we have grow a plant specifically and spot some wildlife down here. Again, I already mentioned spot some wildlife, but growing a plant actually counts towards the Let It Grow activity badge too. If the squirrels grow a plant, I'd give an example of watercress perhaps. That would certainly count for a good part of the Let It Grow badge. Um, if we move on to perhaps the Super Chef activity badge, if we are doing something that is edible as part of one of these experiments, there are a number of different experiments out there that you can look into in terms of mixing food science and chemistry together. There may be ways to get the Super Chef activity badge together, especially when it comes to things like making a snack by following a recipe and things like that. If you think a little bit about baking, using a gas burner or something like that, that is part of the Super Chef activity badge. Obviously, you have to keep a close eye on the squirrels when they're doing that. But obviously, cooking things is part of chemistry. Obviously, when you cook an egg, etc., that actually changes the chemical makeup of the egg, and one of the reasons why it can't be reversed, obviously. You can't turn a cooked egg into an uncooked egg. Other than that, there's not too much in terms of activity badges we can link into. There may be a way to link into something even as complex as the Digital Maker Staged Activity Badge, which is one of the badges that actually increases and gets larger stages throughout scouting all the way up into Explorer and Network Scouts. So if you look at the stage 1 of Digital Maker Stage Activity Badge and you do something with computers to go through this list, that would actually perhaps count towards this. Um, Other than that, if we look at the Chief Scouts Acorn Award, there may be other things we can do here in relation to, for example, stargazing, as it says here. Look for some stars in the middle sort of requirement. Part of the All About Adventure Challenge Award, which goes towards the Chief Scouts Acorn Award, is actually stargazing. So that's an easy one to tick off there and to essentially get an easy step towards that Chief Scouts Acorn Award. Other than that, trying something new. Again, most experiments are something that you've never done before. By trying something new, that would count towards the All About Me Challenge Award too. By sort of independently deciding to do something that's a little bit outside of the comfort zone. So getting the squirrels involved actively in the actual experiments rather than just showing them how to do them or showing them, what they are. If you actually get them involved in, for example, making baking soda rockets or volcanoes, that'd be a very good way of doing it. You can mention a little bit about, for example, collaboration and how similar scouts may have done the exact same experiment in other parts of the world. If you're clever about that and you can find some evidence online or talk to perhaps a scout group in a different part of the world that's actually related to your group, that would be a good way of getting part of the All-Arounders award done as well. I think that's pretty much everything we can really link in there. So hopefully that's been useful, giving you some ideas on this badge. Thanks, have a great day, bye bye.